This year's Gencon looks to be the largest one yet, but what game should you be on the lookout for? This video I'll show you my top 5 competitive game picks for Gencon 2017, after this. Hey there, it's Theo from Geeky Gamer Guy. On this channel I show you all things board games from top 5 lists just like this one, playthroughs, reviews, to how to plays, called peep plays where I misplace my shirt. So if you're new here, think about subscribing. These 5 games are begging to be in your collection. If the cost is provided, they are listed for you to be ready to shell out the cash. Alright, enough of this, let's get started. First up is a 2 to 6 player game from AEG. Custom Heroes is a card crafting climbing trick game in which you modify the cards with clear inserts in custom sleeves. Card crafting. Sounds like something I've seen before. Oh, that's right. It's a system AEG introduced in their original card crafting game, Mystic Vale. This one builds on that system and adds a trick-taking element. The players attempt to win rounds by getting rid of all their cards as quickly as possible using the classic climbing trick mechanic. An example of a climbing trick mechanic is if a player starts by playing 3 4s, the next player must play 3 cards of the same kind with an equal or higher value. And learnt. When all players pass, the round ends, and you score points based on when you passed. The first player scores the most points. The last player to have played cards leads a new trick with whatever card or set they choose. Sound like nothing new, but this is where the card crafting element comes into play. There are advancements to sleeve into your cards. These may change the value of cards, turn a card into a wild, reverse the direction of the values from playing ascending to descending, or making cards count as multiple copies of themselves. How do you get these shiny advancements? Well, it's actually being the last player to have played cards that can get the most. So the first player scores the most points, but the last player can advance their cards more quickly. First to get to 10 points and win a hand is the winner. Cool mechanics and gorgeous art make this one earn a spot in any collection. Next up, we go into the future where robots are in every facet of our lives. Every facet. Ooh. Many companies are building robots, but only a few companies can program them. It's the job of 2 to 4 players to be those programming companies in Sentient from Renegade Game Studios. Over 3 rounds, players roll 4 dice and place them on their own personal board. Then use their agents and assistants to shop from the available robots to manipulate and change the dice as efficiently as possible. Each robot that is added could potentially modify the dice on your board and hopefully attract the interest of investors for your company. The player with the most points in the end is the winner. This game is a sure bet. After all that corporate mumbo jumbo, it's time to get out and commune with nature in Photosynthesis from Blue Orange Games. Every round, 2 to 4 players harness the sun's rays from its current position around the board to gain light points, then spend those light points to plant and grow trees. Once a tree is fully matured, you can harvest it to gain points depending on where in the forest it was planted. After 3 sun revolutions, the game ends. The player with the most points is the winner. It looks to be a simple to learn but hard to master abstract strategy game. Don't leave this one out of your collection. I'm really in need for a good dice game. Luckily, we have the 2 to 4 player game Unearthed from Brother Wise Games coming up next. This dice placement and set collection game utilizes a tribe of different sized dice to acquire ruins cards for points. The more ruins cards of the same type, the higher the points they are at the end of the game. Though you do score points for one of each type as well. The player who places the highest and largest dice wins the card. Sounds like a total luck fest, right? Wrong. Players can also roll low numbers to collect stones to build wonders, which also score points and give powerful ongoing effects for the player. Even if you don't acquire anything, you get Delver cards that can be used to manipulate the dice rolls or allow more dice to be added on a turn. The player with the most points is the winner. Better get it before it's ancient history. Speaking of something ancient, for number 1 on this list, let's do something sinister. Like Awaken the Elder Gods in the 2 to 4 player game, Fate of the Elder Gods from Fabled Nexus. That's right, you heard correctly. We aren't trying to stop the Ancient Ones from waking, but competing to be the first cult to do so. Each player controls a cult that will travel between 6 locations across Arkham on the board known as the Fate Clock. Traveling to these locations allow the players to acquire ancient artifacts, powerful spells, and even call upon the Elder God's dark gift. Watch out though! Too much activity at a certain location will attract annoying investigators to try to slow your progress by placing elder signs and raiding your cult's lodge. Pesky little flies. Don't they see we're trying to herald the world's end? The first cult to raise their summon track to 9 before the investigators save humanity awakens their elder god and wins. Let me prepare my chanting voice. It's a must buy. That's it. I hope this list helps you plan your attack at the behemoth that is Gencon. Don't forget to check out all my Gencon lists coming out over the next couple weeks, so you can be fully prepared. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. Also, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Until next time, stay geeky, keep gaming.